Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Site Defender of the Fatherland, off here doing exciting on 1 vs 1 on Lost Glider. Between the south we got here Lum, fighting here for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Comrade Stalin. Here with mechanized support, shock rifle, and conscript support with triple infantry versus north we got LukePraiseStone, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, rolling out here with the 1st Infantry Division, East Prussian. And we got here, well, just I think Prussian actually. Alright, we got here Lightning War, Blitzkrieg, and elite troops with double infantry and an Ostrom bulletin here. Note though, we really only got Lightning War there to provide Ostrom with triple infantry as well for Lum. We got a double contract here for Lum by way of opening up for, of course, an aggressive start that can secure a lot of territory versus the more standard Pioneer, MG42 Grenadier start here for Luke. And the Wehrmacht, pretty much standard stuff. There's not really much point in going for anything else most of the time. MG42 hanging a bit about here. Seems like Luke is a bit unsure we want to send that one. In Lima though, LimaOskarMike, Lum just charges out the west side here. His men scouring the field for any fascists. Quickly, lots of fascists. No, that's a tree, Piotr. Quickly, lots of fascists. No, oh, that's a car, Piotr. Oh. I keep wishing they'd stop sending us recruits from Siberia. I haven't seen anything but snow and rocks. Grenadiers MG4 coming up, securing up the small house here. Quickly! That's a fascist! That's a door, Piotr. Ah, damn it. 3rd conscript out there for Lum, concentrating eastwards here. Securing the fuel point there. And there you go, right into the MG42. I don't think Lum was expecting this kind of MG42 rush. Usually, if they are play on this map, particularly most players tend to be a lot more cautious about the Coh2 point here. But in this case, Luke decided to not really guard that way, which does of course leave options for Lum, but if Luke can sort of force Lum to react to him, it won't matter too much. Of course, here concentrating the Pioneers just to hit the Coh2 point there. Grenadiers preventing content for rushing, but that's about it, all he can do here. He could go for another Grenadier squad soon, another MG4 to help defend the Coh2 point. We see the other MG4 being shifted about, that's pretty good there. Pioneers taking losses as Lum defense, but doesn't try to get too close up, as the Pioneers get to do some serious damage then, or at least some damage. Grenadiers tried to bait the conscript out in the open instead of fighting out here. The problem is that rather made it easier for the conscripts to deal with the Grenadiers. So that slightly backfired for Luke. Then again, overall, this was not really a good engagement for him, no matter how he sort of would look at it. And overall, he would have lost without additional troops. We can see the MG4 moving back here to sort of set up that way. I think that's the best move he could sort of make in the time he has allotted to him. And there you go, halts the conscripts. They're trying to go for the Coh2 point there. Pioneers sneaking up behind, ultimately forcing away their Lum from the Coh2 point. But Lum does have most of the map here, so he will have a resource lead over Luke, though not by a massive margin, but still he's getting 23 and 26 compared to 17 and 16. That is a resource difference. You also got engineers on the way there for Lum, so he's going to use at least one there just to help build up stuff, while the other one's maintaining a more, frontline posture versus Luke that way, forcing him to dislocate a bit more on the back foot. But there you go, in the fuel point here, as Luke is now trying to react to this, retracting towards the Coh2 point, but thusly leaving his fuel point exposed. So the move there from Lum has ultimately had an effect. Even if he wasn't able to grab it, it has forced, or at least caused Luke to actually pull back there. So that leaves him much more exposed, much more vulnerable, and Lum was quickly able to seize upon that. I mean, his conscripts do get suppressed, they do take losses, but the damage has been done. The damage has been done, and that is certainly what matters quite a bit there. Grabbing the centre victory point here with the Grenadiers, though, staying over the corpses of fascists. That's a fascist, yes! Good, Piotr. Just too bad you couldn't hit them. Comes to them moving out, engineers come to there, hitting the Coh2 point there with the Pioneers. Once more, Luke hits the Coh2 point there, harassing back at Lum. So both players are displaying, I think, some good infantry footwork, good harassment of the other bastards. We can see more Pioneers of the Pioneers are sort of piling up. No take up yet though for Luke. Ooh, briefly consider another unit. Oh, there you go, actually going for full Grenadiers. It briefly looked like he cancelled it, but he hadn't. In fact, he'd gone the full way then, actually 9 to 4 Grenadiers MG42, which could indicate he might be planning a tier 3 rush here, skipping tier 2 and moving straight on to the panzer bits. But so far, otherwise, LimaOskarMike just Lum pushing ahead. He's going for the special weapon, a rifle command here. Interesting, there's an infantry build. It might not be fully effective in some ways, so of course, long-term snipers or penal troops could be helpful. I'm guessing snipers is either just using it to quickly skip ahead for the next tier, since the special rifle command is cheaper than the support weapon company. So if you're planning a sort of faster rush there as well, I mean, the special rifle command does fit the bill there.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
No doctrine shows anything on the play, hitting the victory point here, hitting the carve point. Lom just keeping out the harassment, keeping out that pressure. And we got a bunker up here for Lom. Oh, not Lom, Luke. He's going to have to get medics up there. Sanitator. Constable back there for reinforcement healing. Engineers falling back as well. Engineers versus Grenadiers. We got a mortar here for Lom. Oh, Luke as well. Damn it, they both suffer. And so for some reason my brain now is conflating the two names. Damn it. And the car fight. Medic bunker up there for Luke. In some ways, you know, they're sort of different. I mean, this one is just a straight 250 manpower course, but that's a bit tricky here for the Serbs to have, since again they're more manpower intensive faction. Comparatively for the Germans, it's less manpower intensive, but now the munitions cost is a bit more expensive for the Germans, since they need munitions for a lot of things at the same time, like machine gun upgrades, rifle grenades, light machine guns and what, or light machine guns, you know, Panzerfaust and whatnot. So in that regard, the medic bank for them, where it's less punishing in the manpower department, but on the other hand, you know, it sort of hurt other elements, and that's sort of some of the bigger difference there for some just in design between the two factions. So just a little fun fact there, little fun fact. Got mortar firing back. Lom maintains the defense, but he's being slightly pushed back here a bit. As the mortar does provide more support here for Luke's men, meaning they can sort of project damage better here versus Lom, who is yet to take up. Ferdinand is yet to do anything with the spread of Rifle Command, so is it a sniper he's planning now, or is it a tank of tank command? Those are certainly the question. Oh, penal troopers. That's definitely not what you'd anticipate. And that could be, of course, what Lom was planning here, to hit Luke with the unexpected. Causing Luke to just be, you know, stunned. My God, they've gone for penal troopers. This is a full conscript build. What is a full conscript build, Jürgen? Shut up, Fritz. Flanking in the MG42, burning out there with a flamethrower. Should have a good chance here. Seems to be on about the flamethrowers. It's an AoE weapon, so even the unit gets suppressed. It doesn't particularly matter, though, of course, with this low health and this close range, the damage still matters. But he was actually pretty close. He was pretty close. This could have gone either way, to be honest. I think it basically came down to the reload speed there, which was actually, I think, delayed by the suppression. And that pretty much prevented them from just getting the final burst in versus the MG42 before, you know, they got slaughtered. So, bit of a cold play attempt there by Lom, but in this case, his nerves of steel were not sufficient to, you know, cause death of machine gun crew. Penal troopers charging in. I'm still surprised it go for him at this stage. It's highly unorthodox to just go for full conscript build into penal troopers. That is just not your commissars, Soviets. Still not take up for Lom, so what is the plan here? What is the plan? Is it planning just, you know, supporting them with merge or something? Or what is the plan? I mean, I'm definitely a bit confused here, but there we go. Finally got the take up there for Lom. Hitting the victory points here, sneaking up behind here, very good. We can see that Luke is slightly projecting his forces forwards, but they're rather exposed, rather extended in fact, and there's certainly some potential things going wrong. Noting there we got a double pioneer built, and I mean he's clearly, I think, at this stage playing for the tier 3 rush. It's just not happening, partly due to harassment that's causing him to, you know, lose resources. So I mean he's sort of set up for it, but at the same time, without being able to pull it off, he's going to be in a bad spot, because Lawton will soon be able to hit him with a light tank, and then Luke does not even have a light to make a nice company to at least get pack 40, so light cars out there to deal with it. So he's going to be quite vulnerable unless he's actually been telemining a lot while I haven't been paying attention, or he just gets lucky with a single telemine. And so far he doesn't even have one laid down, so he's in a rather prickly position here, I think, versus Lom. And in fact he's going for flamethrowers. He just does not seem to be anticipating the potential here from a light tank, for a light tank from Lom. Got the penal troopers heading out there. Strafniki, composed of troops had committed various crimes like abandoning the tank. In fact, a lot of tank crews would basically be sent to penal trooper units because they abandoned the tank before it was actually, you know, put out action, or were suspected of it, obviously. It's a little fun fact there. There also existed something called the Stalin Volunteer Divisions. And I'm sure you can all figure, hang on, Stalin and volunteer, that does not sound encouraging. And they were basically people who had already been sent out to Siberia for different crimes against the Soviet state, and were then sort of volunteering to fight against the Germans. For example, doing Operation Mars. They were treated pretty poorly in some cases, made to march very long distances with inadequate food, losing a lot of men, and then they had to be reconstituted with special sort of recovery centres to get them back in the fight. And I got this from a book written by Russian historians before someone just screams propaganda. And furthermore, apparently they had to pick up weapons to fight with, so I mean, there's clearly something to it. By the way, I just thought that was interesting, just the whole Stalin volunteer units. Pioneers versus conscripts here. Grenadiers helping right up with the conscripts. We got the T-7 ring in engaging the Pioneers out in the open, forts on the back here with 45mm gunfire. The standard for most Russian actual tanks in the early stages of the war, and a lot of their armoured cars. Though obviously that would change. It's a little fun fact there. Grenadiers versus conscripts, penal troops here. We got anti-tank rifles up, so he's basically using the sort of his anti-tank backbone alongside the T-70. Luke here so far not responding to this. He's clearly got the tech now, but he can't immediately get out response here to the T-70. He might have to back tech for a Pack 40 here. Plus, he doesn't have access to mobile defense, so there's no Puma either. The best he could maybe muster would be elite troops with a Panzerschreck. But he's actually going for the support Macron, in which case he's going to have to rush out. Stu could go for an Austrian theoretically, but I think a Panzer will be waiting too long unless Lom here is being awfully passive with his T-70. In which case, Luke, I think, does have a chance of pushing back against the opponent. We got Grenadiers sending out here. We got Mortar still sort of hanging back. Support McCall halfway down there for Luke and for the 1st Infantry Division, which was an elite infantry division, though it's not one you actually hear a lot about. Granted, you generally don't hear a lot about German infantry divisions in the first place. Mostly the Panzer divisions and the SS divisions sort of, you know, catch most of the glory. Fun fact. Sniper out here though for Lom. So he's going to try and bleed out here Luke, who is slowly aiming up for some kind of armour. 1st Division here being supported by the 1st Panzer Division, I imagine. Or if they go for Stuks, it could be, you know, Stuks attached to its own Tank Hunter Battalion, as they were sort of meant to go there in case they couldn't get Hetzers. So Stuks were commonly used as replacement for Hetzers, and the Hetzers were basically just an attempt at making a Stuk out of the Czechoslovakian Panzer 38T, but was hijacked by Guderian so he could get Stuks. Like, he hijacked a lot of assault gun programs and made them into tank destroyers just because he wanted the Stuk so badly, but couldn't get it under his control as Panzer Inspector General. I think so. That's how the title went. Quick rifle grenade here. Note the German rifle grenade actually quite a small cut being placed into the rifle first and then attach a grenade, then firing it. Slightly complex setup there. Pioneers versus conscript up north. Though rather low health conscript, a bit bashed up, but you can see the Luke does not risk it, he just retreats. Yorul still remains heavily on the defense here versus Lom, and he can go for the Stuk now. Go for the Ostwind. He could set up for the Pentacle, but definitely not recommended. There you go, got the Stuk 3G on the way here for LukePraiseStone, so probably sent in there from the Panzerjäger Company that would be attached here to the Infantry Division. And so that sort of happened as the war progressed, those sort of being sent in there. Previously they actually had Martyrs and the likes there, as a fun note. Whereas the Martyrs basically being phased out anyways, since it was overall less flexible. So Stugolmer's down there for Luke. Oh, snipers there. Caught here by the Grenadiers. That was a bit risky there by Lom. His T-7 considering about, and he getting some hits on the Grenadiers here and there, shooting off its 45mm gun. Wait, he cancels the Stug. Oh dear, he's going bold. He's going to try and play for the Panzer IV. In fact, he's going for a 2nd mortar and then the Panzer IV. Good lord. That's pretty ballsy there by Luke. That is pretty ballsy. In particular since he just lost both fuel points to his opponent. That is balls of lead. Pretty heavy, but you gotta ask yourself, why are you using lead? Anyways, Panzer IV the T-7 laying some good hits off. Got the infantry setting up there. could use incendiary pitch maps are going to be too late. Pioneers are trying to get the point that's not working out too well. Got to get wiped out. Flares going off as well. Another grenade squad here for Luke to replace the losses he's suffered. He's very close to the Panther 4, but it's still giving me some time here. Incendiary pitch rounds now available here for the MD42. Luke is just looking rather scattershot across the map here. Of course, Lom is also a bit scattered as well. He has to try to defend more fish, well, all of his territory, which could in theory then allow Luke to push through at one point, but he's just not doing it. He's also trying to push through everywhere, so neither player sort of gaining any sort of real concentration or focus. So it basically comes down, I think, to an extent who, you know, either gets lucky or who just remembers to focus their forces first. Or whoever gets out a medium tank, in which case Luke definitely wins, because he's moments away from the Panzer 4, though I still think he should have gone for Stug first, just to counter the T-70. But again, it could have just been that Luke in this situation just felt that without a tank he's just going to fall behind all the infantry that Lom's got up, plus the T-70, in which case he just wants to push anything, in which case the Panzer 4 of course does fit the bill, but Pair Stugs should also do a lot. By the way, that's that. Though he should definitely then go for it. Now he has the resources. There you go. Panzer 4 on the way there. First Panzer Division send support. The Stugs are being withheld for now. Perhaps to be needed elsewhere. Dark Mortars though will present a threat here to Lom's infantry alongside the Panzer 4 for sure. Country Lom's being wiped out here by the Gunners and the Pioneers and the mortar fire. So much death. And there you go. Full wipe against Lom. First wipe he got in there actually. Some good stuff. Snipers roaming about here, 3 kills. T-70 awaiting repairs. Got all of the engineers there whacking hard on it. Whoops. There you go, Gunners versus Country Gunners almost wiped out. Got a T-34 for Lom, so he's going for his own arm as well. Very good. No doctrine though yet for Lom. No doctrine. I do find that one worrisome. Pumes was constantly pushing against Gunners being overwhelmed, forced back with no immediate infantry support, no machine gun support or any other kind of support. Though we do have the Panzer 4 running here for Luke. Pin-em-up machine gun there being added for added anti-infantry firepower, of course anti-aircraft support. Though by this stage of the war, the machine gun would be able to do a lot versus most aircraft, in particular versus the IL-2 Sturmovik, it would be pretty much useless. And there you go, Lombard here goes for doctrine. It is shock rifle. A shocking choice. Oh God, Lord, he almost wiped the entire penal trooper squad, which just gets off a satchel charge there, but they got wiped. Oh good Lord, that was an ambush that went wrong. Alright comrades, just wait here, and once it passes around the corner we'll kill it. But what if he drives around the corner and tries to crush us? Don't worry, Sergey, he'll never. Oh shit, everybody's dying. Yet. That was just brutal there. That was absolutely brutal. That was one hell of a roadkill. They're going to be picking up pieces of Pavlov from that Panzer for days. Of course, now we got the T-34 from the start here for Lom, but he suffered heavy losses in a matter of moments. A lot of infantry has expired by the hands of LukePraiseStone in the 1st Infantry Division, with support from the 1st Panzer Division. It was in fact quite common by this stage of the war that Panzer Divisions were running their panzers parcelled out to different parts of the front to well make up for the fact that most infantry divisions did not have much heavy anti-tank support, in particular no mobile anti-tank support in most cases, except of course for those Stugs and Hetzers that were supposed to arrive slowly. Got mortar fire raining down there, Gunners being pushed back, T-70 supporting a small infantry push here. So the question is, what does Luke go for next here versus Lom? And will Lom now try and stay up for the IS-2, in which case he really should get a fuel cache out first, so he really wants to go for that one. Got coming up against the mortar. Mortar, they take a few hits, but nothing too critical. Gunners reinforcing. Noting, no LMGs here for Luke, just G43s. Good pressure on the west here. Now you can see Luke is turning around the map control here against Lom and the Soviet Union. I didn't actually give them a number, did I? A divisional number. That's basically 6th mechanized corps then. Ooh, that's awkward. That's deeply awkward. That's a mistake by me. Hitting the fuel point, hitting the cut-off point there. Coh2 versus Panzer 4. And rushing it, seeing a target here for a damaged engine. Good response there, though. Does take a few losses from the mortars. Guns being oriented by Lom's armour. T-70, T-34-6 playing together. Does have some decent chances of getting some wipes in. Under the right circumstances, though, no, they do suffer 50% accuracy penalty on the move. Bit similar to how most German armour does as well. So that is a bit important to keep in mind. So what will Lom do? He might increase in the want to consider fuel cache here due to the increasing harassment and cut off of his fuel here from Lom. Oh, not from Luke. Ooh, planes are close being wiped out. Can he get the wipe? Ah, close but no cigar. Close but no cigar. The mortar is actually exposed to good rush from the T-34-6. Does not constantly pushing back the Gunners in the east with some losses inflicted. And will Lom actually replace the infantry losses? He's actually replaced the penal super squad here with a fresh one. With anti-tank rifles as well. I suspect in part he's just going because of the anti-vehicle satchels, which of course are quite effective in, you know, slowing down any panzers. We got a Strug on the way here for Luke to help deal with the Russian armor threat. I mean, if he goes for another T-34-6, he's definitely going to need it. Hellbear's nice too. The Strug's going to be pretty good. Certainly a lot better than the Panzer IV. So either way, the situation seems to increasingly require a Strug. And there you go, we got relief infantry of LukePraiseStone, 1st Division Infanterie Division. Preparing support here from rear lines in the form of Hilfswillige to make up for the losses. IS-2 unlocked, but Lom is far removed from. There goes to the T-34-6. We might want to consider some shock troops at some point. Could be quite effective at surprising some of Luke's infantry and murdering them. Gunners aren't there, getting murdered by the T-34-6. No Ostrom squad there so far prepared. So that might soon happen here. There we go. Ostrom squad are running here for Luke. That is one. Question is, how many will he be able to? Well, he can most get another one with this time, even though it's being unlikely. Very unlikely. And yeah, that's not happening. Only one Ostrom squad out here for 90 munitions. T-34-6, they're falling back. Oh, T-7. Oh, he lost that. Wait, he cancelled. He cancelled the other T-34-6, losing the T-78 to the Panther IV. Stu providing current fire. We got Counter rushing ahead here. Trying to stall the Panther IV, preventing from pursuing the T-34-6 and knocking it out here. Also, note he took a rather sharp detour to try and, you know, prevent Luke from predicting where it is. And he quickly just buggers out of there. Once he sees the anti-tank penal troops, he does not want to get satcheled within enemy territory. So I think Lom here is setting up for something, maybe an issue 5, or he might like to be playing for the ISU, in which case, I mean, in the current situation, there's definitely going to be a need for fuel caches. He is definitely going to need fuel caches to make that work out, and nothing further there for Luke. No tech up, or additional anything else. Six other adventure in eastern fuel pump by Luke's mighty Panzerkampfwagen 4, hammering off high explosive round after high explosive round into the throngs of Soviet infantry that throw themselves at Luke's mighty Teutonic bulwark. We got grenades eventually 3 mortars there approaching something, and we got incendiary bears called in on the mortars, trying to smother them up with the fires of pure socialism. There we go. Small chance of mortar being wiped, but not quite. Still a dust falls on the way. It does silence Luke's artillery battery there for a while, and we do see it's not the IS-2 playing for, but it's the IS-5. Not a bad choice, not a bad choice. Though really, he would benefit from a fuel cache or two, to be honest. He could place one here, but a pretty safe spot. Can't be, you know, harassed. It's also unlikely your opponent's just going to discover it or actively seek it out. So that way he could just secure himself a bit extra fuel here long term, and I think that would be really helpful for Lom versus LukePraiseStone. I mean, the more fuel he can get, the better. And of course, again, we're getting closer than actualized to just more tanks. Panzer IV, they're fixed up halfway to 22. Stu hanging back. No pent-up machine for that one. There we go. Got the UG-5 tank to start here for Lom, which was based on the T-34-76 chassis. Fun fact. There was also one with a slightly longer hull known as the HU5M. Not so much because modernised, though that would be what the M stands for, but basically just because of the way making the HU100, which needed a bigger hull, they just didn't have the guns ready, so they made a bunch of HU85s using the hull of the HU100. Shock troopers out here for long to try and pressure, and they forgot the Panther flank. Go safe for the snipers. They're caught off guard. Oh, Sika Bliat. T-34 with the damage and got the family inclination almost arrived out here, but pretty close. Contra rushing in here. HU5 can't easily move about due to the T-34 from 6 in the way. And can he get it off? Anti-tanking it off. HU5 can't seem to hit. Missed timing here to actually get a damage in the Panther. We got sort of the Stroog about. They should probably worry about that one. Mortar getting veterans. Yes, they pummeled Conscript into submission up north. And that's a full wipe here from the double mortars. Quite a loss there for Lum. Quite a loss, but double veterans, at least 2 mortars, can very much do that. They should not be underestimated. Also, things about it then start in front of the church here when there's a mortar nearby, which can very quickly pummel the unit into annihilation. This is, I think, a very ill-conceived move by Lum. Might be fed a bit by desperation. In this case, he's lucky he doesn't suffer more heavily than he does there, actually. That could easily have been another wipe, I think. Or at least high casualties than just a pair of penal troopers. So we got another Panther 4 there for Luke. Troop ceiling reinforcing. And Stroog there gaining veterans with 1 target weak point available. Fun fact about them, it says it fires a heat round. The problem is the German army in this stage wouldn't really use heat round for the Stroog G. In fact, this heat round would likely have less penetration. What the heat round was good for were guns with the lower velocity to give them extra penetration, like the early Panther 4s or the late Panther 3s. But for something like with these high velocity guns, a heat round actually would be effectively useless. And they've just been relying on higher quality armor piercing rounds more than anything else. So a little fun fact there. But they might still have carried a few rounds, I think, but as a rule of thumb, they wouldn't, I think, benefited that much from it. Like, except in like maybe a few cases. I think not huge on that particular area, but I believe that's how it is. Panther 4, they're gaining military 2 shots and up. Note the armoured skirts were quite notorious for easily falling off in contact with most things, which rather caused the crews to usually try and improvise different meshes and, you know, making them stick to the side of the tank. Panther 4, they're roaming about. Oh, I'm moving up slowly, taking hits there from the PTRS, which technically would not have a chance in hell of penetrating the Panther 4 frontally. Even the Stroog, which also had 80mm of armour. As a side note there. Most of the tank rounds, in fact, generally had very poor penetration, even that's even at the start of the war. I mean, by 1944-45, unless in most cases they've been effectively useless, and mostly been a moral comfort for the infantry. Panther 4 flanking in the good move there by Luke, striking at LimaOskarMike, who's quite not ready for it. Is he now trying to set up the eyes too? He's got T-34 on his mind. What is it that's going on in the Lum? Meanwhile, LukePraiseStone pulls ahead here for the centre, and it is taking minor losses here and there. He really wants that Panther 4 down. And there goes Stroog, goes for the HU5. Stroog here should have the advantage and gets the first shot. But looks like he plays it safe there. Luke and just pulls back the Stroog. Shocks were dealing with it in the centre, gunning them down with their PPSH-41s, though needs to be careful not to run into a lot of other nasty things. And there go quick grenade off against the Grenadiers. Some damage, of course, got the double mortars there. Now both veteran free. Both veteran free. This mortar battery is a definite nuisance here for LimaOskarMike, and he doesn't quite have a counter for it. He's actually going for the H-26M to try and probably, you know, help deal with the armor and also maybe counter this. More penal troops as well. And there go, full wipe in the shock trooper squad. Huge loss there for Lum. Huge loss. That is not going to be easily overcome. I mean, those shock troopers are expensive at 390 manpower. So that was very unfortunate there for Lum. That is very unfortunate. Nice tactical victory there for Luke. On the other hand, the H-26M in particular gets another one. Could actually be a huge problem here for Luke, as they do possess a very high rate of fire. along with reasonable penetration, of course, got range, which could actually put some serious pressure on Luke's armor. And again, particularly a pair of them can actually very quickly threaten Panzer IVs, in the same way that a pair of Stugs can actually quickly threaten most Soviet medium armor. Well, Allied medium armor of heavy armor can be threatened by a pair of Stugs. So, there's something worthwhile keeping in mind here about the S-6M. T-34 there, good to go. Lomno is definitely interesting. We got a lot of S-mine fields being done for Luke up in the northwest. S-mines down there. Luke preparing his Panzerwaffe for the next push, and we actually got Tier 4 on the way there for Luke. He might try and play for a Panther, he might be feeling very confident. Of course, this is the sort of moment there where then Lom gets another chance at actually getting really back into this game, because Tier 4 is still very expensive and still not very efficient. But there you go, T-34 saving by Tier 2. Need to get the assault guns and tanks ready to support the T-34, but he's not actually. He is not. He might be winning it for the anti-tank grenade, of course, but I'm not sure why the H-6 is not winning support. Oh yeah, he's going to lose the T-34 now, mate. Oh, got the Panther IV, and he actually gets away from the Stug as well. If he remembers to move. Bit lost, they got the second Panther IV from here, it's hitting the car point. Actually, that's a reasonable good move. Although the infantry support for is very light. There you go, hits a mine. This is catastrophic for Luke. This is catastrophic. He's going to get stuck in front of a tank destroyer. And there you go, H-6 getting hit here by the H-1. Stug gets hit by the H-6, taking a few nasty hits here. And the South H-5 was being taken up by the... taking up these Panzer IV. Blah. Stug there, looks like he will be able to escape here, avoiding death by anti-tank with an H-6M. Panzer IV, though, in this case, it's only down to the fact that the H-5 has a damaged engine. I was able to hunt down the Panzer IV, so this was overall a very bad engagement for Luke. He did get the penal squad. In fact, both penal squads are gone now. Lom is definitely strong here with infantry preservation. He's losing a lot of infantry very fast to Luke, who's on the other been a lot better at actually preserving his troops. And there you go, another T-34 for Lom, who's now building up a sizable armoured force. Still, those losses, that damage, but otherwise Lom really needs to work his unit preservation. He keeps picking a lot of engagement with his infantry, does not necessarily benefit a lot, and just, other things. So he does need to be a bit more careful about that. But there you go, doubling the use of repair of his armor, which is now quite damaged. T-34, H-6, H-85. Gonna do something about here. Victory point secured. So I'm assuming here Luke's gonna try and pull for a Panther next. And there you go, second T-34 success for Lom. He's been caught in the disc by the conscripts. Splitting up his engineers, I think, is the less efficient thing. We should just focus on one of the vehicles at a time to just quickly get in the back in the fight, in particular the T-34 second prior to just help pressure Luke's infantry and then the H-6 and quick support them in case Luke's tanks counterattack. But there you go, it's almost got one of the Grenadier escorts here. Any white would be quite useful here for Lom at the moment. But the bastard gets away, got the Stug going in there. No pin map machine gun added for that one. And the snipers need to be careful, by the way, those German mortars are very keen on killing anything that appears within that, area of attack. And he charges straight into the center there where there is all of the mortars and anything else. And definitely not the right choice here, I think, by Lom. Mount being set up, H-5 needs to be careful, he needs to be mindful of his flanks. There you go, we can see here Luke takes advantage of this to move into the Stug, but counters the H-6, but gets a shot off, but fails to penetrate. Got the H-5 joining there, goes still penetrating on the Stug, taken down to half health. T-34 going straight for being accountted here by the Panther IV, which is Veterans 1 there, 8 kills. Sniper supporting here, but not really having an impact on the Panther IV. Needs to pull back the T-34 forward fully. Good few hits here from... Ooh, shot bounce! That was really lucky there for Lom. He could easily lost, but there you go. Panther moves it, blitzkrieging, but there's Station 6, there's 85. Snipers, he rams it! Gets the Panther IV there. Panther on the way for Luke. Calling in anti-tank air support. Needs to get out of there, Lom. Get moving! Other T-34 can deal with Oscar up north here. Some hits in, but nothing actually too damaging here. But still need to get out of the zone of a attack there for the aircraft. Now sending in the T-34 behind Luke's lines, going for the mortars. Causing some damage, causing some havoc. A bit risky, though, has the Stug away there. And there you go. Luke's rear lines here are collapsing in the face of Lom's T-34-76. Very good there, very good. Pushing ahead under the support of all this, very good as well. But he needs to get the engineers on the assault gun and the tank as fast as possible. He needs to be ready for what comes next. And there you go. Luke's Panther has arrived. A lot of S-mods down by the way there, a lot of them. More engineers as well for Lom, but he really should have them prioritize repairing his tank destroyers. He's going to certainly struggle with the Panther with only one T-34, but if you get both the H-6 and the H-5 back in action fast, they can actually pretty much easily deal with it. So why he's rushing in there is a bit of a good question. Sniper fire there. Veteran T3, we got 26 kills there. That's definitely not bad. And a unit wiped up north here again. Lom's infantry preservation is struggling severely in the face of Luke's attacks. Panther running around, they're pinning my machine gun almost ready. Got one engineer working in the H-6. His forces now by mostly composed of engineers. He just lost another conscript trying to tag up through there. Lom's infantry preservation is falling off a cliff here while drunk. There you go. Almost wiping the entire gun squad just behind, but there you go. The T-34-6 is now veteran free. That is disconcerting news for Luke. I would say the infantry losses that LimaOskarMike is suffering is pretty more disconcerting news for him. But there you go. Fix on the H-6M. But is it going to be enough in time here? Luke in this case does not pursue the veteran free tank. He's probably not aware that Lom is actually taking a lot of time to fix up his counters to the Panther. Got the Stug that's reporting. Panther sending ahead here. Another T-34 on the way there for Lom, but will it be in time? Will it be in time? There you go. More engineers now converging on the H-5 tank destroyer. Troops reinforcing. T-34 also need repairs. Victory point wise, Luke continues to pull ahead now, slowly but surely. Again, part thanks to just Lom's unit or infantry preservation. His armor preservation, I think, is a little stronger, but his infantry preservation is struggling, costing him a lot of troops. Certainly in large waves, which is probably what's worse about it. It's not just losing a unit here and there, it's just loses like several squads in one go. But there you go, Stug being flanked with the tank, destroys an assault gun. Ace T-34 down into the Stug Panther combo. Panther going to take here for the snipers. Almost got the Stug. The Stug went down. The Stug went down. Just as hit veteran 3, and there you go. We got veteran 3 in the H-6. H-5 getting veteran 2 as well. Panther closely approaching veteran death. Well, half health. Oh dear, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose it. He's trying up between the H-6 and the H-5. T-34 moving in a small rear, being exposed. Right here, they should actually reverse move the H-6 to build bigger distance between it and the Panther, so there's a better chance of actually being able to shoot it so the Panther can't get straight. And there you go, got the Panther. Oh dear, I mean right now the big advantage for Lom, or Luke, is he still has a lot more infantry on the field than Lom, but on that Lom now has a definite arm advantage. Look, they're going for Stug. They need to be careful here with all the things that very quickly knock the Stug out. Now, can Lom the push it fast enough? He needs to go for a lot of infantry. He also needs to be careful not to throw units. He also needs to kill those mortars. They need to die. Retreat the engineers. Kill the mortars with the T-34. But there we go. You can see here that just Luke is pushing the infantry all across the front. And he lost the engineer squad there. Should have retreated it. And he went for the most expensive option in terms of, course, it's also the fastest, but he needs troops in numbers, not just quality. Trying to push the machine gun out there. Shock troops pulling ahead is supported by the H-6, I suppose. Because they're being shredded by the PPS-841s. And there goes Stug ramming here for Luke for the 1st Infantry Division. Almost got the machine gun there in a matter of seconds. There we go. Nice strike there by Lom. Another hit there. Hitting fuel, or victory point specifically. Fuel is sort of secondary right now since it's, you know, you can't win with fuel. Not, you know, without enough time to use it. 50 points left here for Lom. Starting to look pretty rough here. Starting to look pretty rough. Got the Ace assault gun crew ready. Heroes of the Soviet Union. Then he's planning against the shock troopers here. Ooh, Pioneer's one step close here. And almost got wiped. We got the Stuke moving in and pushing in the T-5476, so he's trying to. Being assaulted here by all of Lum's equipment. Lost a mortar crew as well. Oh dear. That is really bad news. The Stuke almost taken out here. Stuke almost taken down. Low health, low health. H-6 and misses. Stuke hits. Veterancy 1. Oh, scheisse. Got the T-5476. It's abandoned. H-6 continues after its hunt for the Stuke. Blindly into no man's, or German's land. Target weak point on the H-6, which misses. Oh, scheisse. Misses. H-6 misses as well. Stuke gets the killing hit, gaining veterancy 2. H-5 goes in. The Stuke quickly avoids this. Hiding behind the bocage. More shock troopers for Lom. And you can see sending in the H-5 blindly. But he's got a damaged engine. Oh, there we go. Stuke gets a good hit. Target weak point. Targets a weak point. Jorgen. Targets a weak point. H-5 misses. And there we go. The target weak point goes off. The target weak point goes off. And he almost gets the H-5 immediately. Just one more hit. Down it goes. Down it goes. And this is why infantry support is always important. Without infantry support, that Stuke might have been dead. But thanks to infantry support, it won compared to the H-5, which had none. So there you go. A close, brutal battle at times here between Luke and Lom on Lost Glider with a lot of caches and a lot of sides. But ultimately, though, the problem for Lom was just his infantry preservation compared to Luke was just very weak. He kept losing infantry squads, allowing Luke to just build up a sizable infantry force. That way, slowly but surely gaining map control just to be able to dominate the victory points compared to Lom, who struggled to support his infantry, his arm, and also make any gains and pushes because once he'd put back Luke's forces, all he had left was just a lot of decrepit squads which could not push ahead. The Dome Mortar, I think, was also quite effective, and Lom also struggled to counter them, and that, I think, was another sort of, you know, big tactical asset there for Luke as the fight went on. Also, the Stukes. Good lord, those Stukes, they really did well there for Luke. They really did well. And certainly also did a lot more than the Panther. Again, like, you really just want Stukes, you just don't want to bother with Panthers, to be honest. Like, always go Stukes. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe to your friends, share it with everyone. And of course, sign off in the comments as to how amazing the Stuke is. This is Imperial saying cheers, thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another Sunday episode. You're all a wonderful audience. Bye.